Hi, this is Linda Noss, and I want to show you today how to do some Swing. Swing is the Java class that is used to create windows and panels and pull down menus and buttons and all kinds of things that you would put on a window. So when you create a Swing application, you can basically create a program that will run on its own without having to be inside the IDE like JCreate or Eclipse or BlueJ. So I'm just going to show you real quick how to put one together. The way Swing works is that you create a frame, just like a picture frame, and inside that frame you create some objects to put on that frame, and they're called panels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off here, and I'm just going to create a new file. I'm using Eclipse, but pretty much should be the same no matter what we did. So I'm just going to call this one first frame and hit finish. And here we are. So we have our main method and the name of our file, and everything's ready to go. So the first thing you want to do is you want to create a frame, and inside that frame you're going to put some other objects. And so how do you create a frame? Well, the first thing you want to do is you want to tell the computer that you're going to create a frame. So they're called J frames. All the Swing stuff starts with the letter capital J in front of it. So J frame, and I'm just going to call this one frame. You can call it anything you like, but I'm just going to say new frame, new J frame. And then I'm going to end that, and so I've created a frame. Now you can see that the computer's unhappy because it's underlined here, and when I put my cursor over it says import the frame from Java to Swing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to be using a lot of Swing things on this program, so I don't want just the J frame, I want all of the Swing things, so I'm just going to put a star here. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell the computer what to do with the frame when the frame closes. So it lists everything here. So the nice thing about Eclipse is it puts everything on here that you would want to have on here. So let's just go back and see how it's done in another program. So here's one I just finished, set default close operation. So I'm just going to basically grab this from here. I'm going to paste it right in here. Now, so there it is. And what this basically does is it tells the computer that when I close the frame, it closes the window. Now another thing I need to do with the frame is I need to tell the frame to pack itself. Basically what it means when I say pack is you create this frame. Again, it's like a picture frame if you can visualize this in your head. But then you're going to put stuff in the frame. So let's say you create this big picture frame and you only have a little bit of stuff in it. And it will look kind of ridiculous to have this big huge picture frame with just this little tiny picture in it. So what pack does is it actually resizes the frame to the stuff that's in it. So if you have something really big in it, it'll resize itself big, and if you have something really small in it, it'll resize itself small. And the other thing I need to do is I have to set it so you can see it. So set visible equal to true. So without this, you wouldn't be able to see the frame. So right now we have a frame. I'll go ahead and save it. The next thing I'm going to do is I have to figure out, right now if I ran this, you wouldn't see anything. It would run, but you can see it would be very unexciting. Here it is right here. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to actually create a panel and put it on the frame. And a panel is like the picture you snap into the frame. So of course these are called J panels. I'm just going to call it main panel equals new J panel, and then I'm just going to put some blanks there. So now I've created a new panel, and now I want to actually take that panel and add it to the frame. Now frames, you have to add them, it's called content. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab this piece of information from my other program, get content pane. So I'm going to grab that and put it right before my pack statement. And main panel. So you can see basically I've just added the main panel to the frame. So now when I run this, again we probably won't see much, it won't be very exciting just yet, but there is a panel on there although it's invisible. So one of the things I can do with my panel is I can put a background color on it. So I'm going to go ahead and set my background color. And it's spring, so I'm going to use springy colors. I'm going to use pink. And then I'm going to hit semicolon. And so now if I run this, you will see that I have a pink panel there. I can resize this window if I want. I can do that any way I want, but here it is right here. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, well, I'm going to put some stuff on here. I want to be able to control the size of my panel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something called set preferred size. You can see right here. And inside here I have to say new dimension. And I can actually put size in pixels of my frame, so of my panel. And again, the frame is going to grow to the size of the panel, so I can put any numbers in here I want. It's not like it's something, oh, I have to import new dimension. Now remember, the AWT was something we used with applets, and we also use pieces of that here. So I'm going to go ahead and import this. So you see up here I have color and dimension. Now you'll notice up here it has two of these, AWT color, AWT dimension. And since I'm going to start using a lot of stuff from the AWT class, I'm going to just have one of these here and put a star. And that will allow me to bring in the entire AWT class with all the stuff I need. So here's that. So now when I run this, you'll see it opens up a window that's about 50 by 100 by 50. Okay, so that's about as exciting as panels get. You can put more than one panel on here, so you can subdivide this thing if you want to categorize it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create another panel. I'm going to call it panel 1. And, oh, maybe I'll call it something more creative. I'm going to call it red panel. And I'm going to say, okay, that's a new J panel. And then I'm going to create a second one. Call it green panel. New panel, J panel. And so you'll see I have these two panels here. It's not liking this because I did not capitalize the J. And I'm going to go ahead and save this. Now, here's the deal. I have a frame, and on that frame, I have a panel. Now, inside of that panel, I'm going to snap two other panels in. So I kind of equate it to like when you buy a picture frame, and you can put more than one picture in that frame, then each place you can put a picture is called a panel. The difference is that you have to create this main panel to start with, which signifies the size that the frame is going to grow to. And then what you can do is you can put stuff inside of the main panel, but you always have to have a main panel. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to add, let's see, main panel. I'm going to add the panels to the sub-panels to the main panel. So I'm going to say red panel. And that would take that nicely. Then I'm going to do the same thing with the green panel. So I'm just do a quick copy and paste here and change it to green panel. And save that. So there's that. I can also put a preferred size on the panels. Let's just run this and see what we get at this point. See, it just put two panels in there. There's a red panel, there's the green panel, there's the major panel. So you can see that the red and the green panel are quite small. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to set a preferred size for my red and my green panel. do that just by copying and pasting this and changing it to red panel. And I'm going to do that again for the green panel. And so I don't want it to be 100 by 50. I'm going to put these 50, 50. So here's this. I'm going to see how that runs. You can see that it created 2 panels. It slides it right in there. Now panels do have borders, and that's what you're seeing here. So it's kind of built in that there's going to be some borders around there. I'm not really sure you can set the borders. Let me just see what they give. And this is one of the nice things about Eclipse, is I'm not sure what I'm doing here as far as borders, but maybe there is a set, oh, there's a set border right there. And basically, what does it want here? It wants a border, because if I can't put a number in here, it's going to be upset if I put a number in there. So I'm not quite sure how to use the set border. I'd have to look it up. But apparently you can set your borders to be like different, like you can put a dash border on there, or a groove, or a double line. Maybe change the color of the borders, whatnot. So I can actually set my borders to be different. So there is the first, your first panels. There's one more thing I want to do, and that is to change the color of the panels. And you'll see that red panel, well, it probably should be red. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this up here because I've already done this once. And I'm going to change this to red panel. I'm going to change this to red. And then I'm going to do this again. Oh, I misspelled this up here. I'm going to change this to green. Change this to green. Oop. Small g. Go ahead and save it. And then I'm going to go ahead and run it. And you'll see now there's a red and a green panel. So that's essentially how you put panels and frames together. And then you can put different things on the panels. So in the next video, I'm going to put some things on these panels. See you next time. Bye.